9 o'clock show is brought to you by the Vibe Hotel in Rushcutters Bay. When in Sydney, play and stay at the Vibe Hotel. Cheers, Rachael Beck. Welcome to the 1 o'clock show.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
I'm so glad I came at the right time for the wine.
Oh no, have a sip, ladies. It is a Friday, it is 6 o'clock and it's time to wind down from the weekend. Rachel, you're joining us on the couch.
Yes, I'm excited too.
Now you have done a lot in your career, from Hey Dad, Home and Away to theatre productions like Cats, Belle and Beauty and the Beast, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Sound of Music, the list goes on, all these major productions. How did you get your acting and theatre bug?
Oh, you know, when kids ask me, I do a lot of programs with kids and workshops in high schools as well. And when kids say to me, I'm thinking about becoming an actor or a performer, I say, well, don't do it. You don't think about it because you have to do it. It chooses you. So it was a bug probably that I was born with. And I trained as a dancer and did all of the Eisteddfods and the school musicals growing up. And then when I was 13, my father saw an audition in the paper in those days for Cats. The very first time Cats was here, so nobody really knew what it was about. He said, "Oh, you could be a kitten." So we drove up to Brisbane and auditioned, and the producers were saying, "Oh, what's this little child doing here?" And I stood up the back, and I got down to the last 4, and they said, "Well, if we can find another little child to play the role with you, because you have to break up the 8 shows because you're not old enough, under 16, we'll give you Rumpelteazer." But they didn't, and by the time I was 15, they kept auditioning me. And by the time I was 15, I wrote on the audition slip, "old enough." And they gave me the job for the first Melbourne season. So that was my foray into the arts. And then straight after that, I did a mini-series with Ben Mendelsohn and Catherine Wilkins and Robert Colby for the ABC. So it meant that I actually had the 2 prongs. I started with the 2 prongs, which was really helpful for Australian, you know, for the Australian audiences and for myself, for my career.
Not to get typecast.
And not to just stay in the theatre vein or the television vein, because there's, you know, it's a small pond here in Australia. We're such a sporting nation. So it's really been great for me to have all of those sides, Yeah.
What's been some of your career highs? What's been some of your favourite plays?
Oh, geez, so many. You know, when I'm asked that question, it's hard to pick because you fall in love with every role. You have to connect with every role. Having said that, I think, out of the musicals, I really loved Fantine in Les Miserables. It's just such a classic show, and you know that you have to be a certain standard to play and to sing and act those roles. I played a bipolar woman in Next to Normal for Black Swan Perth Theatre Company 2 years ago, and that was a great role, a really big sing, but a really fantastic acting challenge and very informative for me in terms of mental health. I loved that. Sally Bowles and Cabaret.
Like, how do you prepare for that?
You just have to do so much research, talk to people who have bipolar, talk to families who have experienced it and the ricochet effect, talk to doctors, do a lot of research yourself, and really you do become the characters. And this is a known thing for actors, that they actually become, it seeps into your everyday life. And so it took about 4 months for me to unwind. I think I was a little bit bipolar in that, well, you are, you know, I remember Kate Blanchett saying to me, she thinks the best actors are the ones who can trick themselves the most into believing they are someone else.
True.
And so when you're doing that, such as Geoffrey Rush did in Shine, he took 6 months to come out of that. It's a cellular thing that you're doing. So you're believing that you're saying the words, you're acting that way 8 times a week. So it's really stepping into the shoes of another person.
That's very interesting, looking at it from that mental level. And when you see so many of the top actors and actors that you see in Hollywood going a little bit off the rails, it makes you realise how mentally challenged, and perhaps there is a type of mental instability that means that they can put themselves in that place.
I don't know if it's a mental instability, it's certainly flexibility.
Flexibility, that's probably a better word.
Yeah, but I think also part of the reason, as I grow older in this crazy industry, I think part of the reason there is a lot of instability is because it's such a damn unstable life.
Yes.
You know, even now I'm still auditioning. I don't know what I'm doing in the next 6 months or year, and I've got 2 kids.
Yes.
So, you know, it's the instability of income, of when your next job is, what your next job is, coupled with becoming other people, which I think is a really interesting and challenging mix, again, which is why it must choose you, because there are so many knockbacks, there are so many no's. Yeah.
You see that in little kids. Some kids that you see them from such a small age and go, yeah, they're born to act.
Oh, you do. They have that, you know, that thing that you can't name. That you can't stop watching that person. They've just got a magnetism about them, and you see it on stage, or perhaps as a person too. You know, meeting certain people I have in my life, you think, oh, you've really got something special about you. Yeah.
Can we dive into the whole? You know, it's plaguing not only America at the moment, it's, you know, filtering out to here to Australia, is the whole sexual harassment in the entertainment industry. Have you
every industry, really,
every industry,
isn't it?
yeah.
Trickling. Have I ever experienced that? I think most women probably would have at some level. I remember growing up through the ranks on set and certainly on stage as well, where you might be slapped on the bum as you pass a cameraman, or I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm doing broad brush strokes, or your bra strap flicked, or being brought into the producer's office saying you need to lose weight and be blonde because you need to be sexy for this role, because that's what sells tickets, or whatever it is. And certainly there have been times when I've almost crossed the line because I thought I will get this job or won't get this job if I don't go that far. Nothing outlandish that I can recall, but you know what? Part of me thought that it was actually just my. It was because I was a woman. It was my. I'm a woman, so I'm a sexualized being. I think it was. Yes. Did you ever feel that way in your life?
When you're in your 20s and you're young and you're around a lot of peers who are also in that age group as well, there's that chemistry going on. So it's hard to, you know.
It's hard to decipher.
Yes.
When it's crossing the line.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I think it's fantastic that people are now, and girls are now coming forward. I have heard a few, and I know you're going to bring this up, not just the girls, but men.
Men, yeah. I mean, we hear a lot of women coming out, but I'm sure there's men that get sexually assaulted or sexually abused as well in the industry.
Oh, there have been a couple of guys who've spoken to me about it, who've just said, this girl has absolutely tunneled me, and, you know, a few really famous, tough rock stars that we would all know, really powerful at the end of a gig, I want you, bum, bum, bum. You know, it's actually, it happens in the other way as well.
Yes.
So, and also I've heard, I have a program called Lionhearted, which is an arts-based mental health program, which we have boys programs as well. Yeah. And my partner in that, Maya Sheridan, has 3 boys who are 15, 13 and 11. She's done a lot of research about this, and she says now the boys coming through feel as though they've got a lot of shame. They've got a lot of shame, the young boys, because they're hearing all of this, and it's actually, and also
would really
it's frightening too.
Well, like men out on the prowl now. I mean, they don't know how to actually look after a woman in their own. You know, where are the lines?
Well, I think there's so much public ridicule about it. Is like, you know, when is crossing the line? You know, so that's confusing for the young male adults coming through as well. It's like, well, if I touch a person's hand, or if I touch somebody on their shoulder, is that sexual harassment? You
Absolutely,
know?
absolutely. If I open the door for her, does it mean I think that she can't do it? Whatever it is, and that crosses into schools as well. My mum, I come from a family of teachers. They can't cuddle the kids when they fall off the bars.
Right.
You know, it's really it's very grey areas now, and I really, even though I'm so for women stepping out and standing out and saying, hey, this is wrong, and this is we won't tolerate this anymore. I also think I don't want to put a broad brushstroke on all the beautiful men who are out there as well. You know, and all the beautiful men who want to look after us. So we really need to open up these conversations, you know, and look after our men as well.
You mentioned before that you're a mum of 2.
Yes,
One of the things I want to talk about today is schools want to put scales, weighing scales into classrooms to weigh students. Yeah,
oh my
and
gosh.
I think to try and to combat the obesity in Australia.
That is crazy.
Really?
Yes or no?
Well, I've done a lot of makeup and grooming courses in girls' high schools, and there is always, every school I go into, they will always have a couple of cases of girls who've got anorexia or having problems with that. And, you know, because makeup and beauty is such a fine line, it
These
always
days it's so
seems
big.
to come up. So it's already... I don't know, it has to be in the right... I'd just say no.
And I totally hear that. I think that will be the initial response by a lot of people. No, no, no. I am very big on educating the child. I'm very big on educating and helping children look after themselves and giving them knowledge. And I think if they do that, it should be in a way where people aren't ridiculed, where people aren't pointed out, maybe privately, and educated in that way that it is compassionate, but also about information, not about shaming people.
No.
I think it's, you know, parents are so time poor, and they're not going to learn this. So where do kids learn about looking after themselves and differentiate what foods to eat, how to exercise, how much exercise they need? So in that way, I think if it's done in the right way, possibly it could work. Possibly it could work. But I hear you, absolutely hear you. And being someone who has battled, you know, not slight, but I'm a dancer. So I've been very, very conscious about my weight a certain 4 years of my life when I was doing cats. I'm very aware of that as well.
It's because those cat suits aren't very forgiving.
Oh, they're unitards. They're unitards. So I think it would depend on the way it's done.
Yeah.
If they took them into a closed room and it was a private thing, and then that went. But I
and
can
it's
just
about
see
information.
all those girls walking out of that room going, "Oh, what did you get? Oh, what's yours?" And it just becomes.
But I think, as Rachel said too, my husband and I did the HCG protocol over Christmas, and it makes you weigh yourself every day. So you get on your scales every morning and weigh yourself. And if you eat a particular food, it will show in your weight. So like breads and pastas and all that sort of stuff. If you eat that, you will know straight away you've put on 500 or you've put on a kilo because of the foods you eat. So I think it's a great educational tool to go, okay, well, if you stuff yourself with cakes and biscuits and chocolate and breads and pastas, that's what's going to cause the weight gain. But if you stick to fresh fruit and vegetables and protein, then you can maintain a healthy level.
I think what the government has done is they're seeing that our regular education programs around that aren't working. It's actually, we're getting more and more obese. And it's knowledge. It's actually knowledge. So I don't know if maybe that's the hard-hitting tactic they're trying to take. Don't know, it's definitely something that needs to be discussed.
Do you bribe your children to get them to do things better?
She sent me that link, and I thought to myself, I damn should bribe my kids more.
Apparently studies have come out to show that it has a positive impact on children if you bribe them.
Oh, what level of bribery are we talking about?
Sure.
Like small?
Well, it's if you put your seatbelts on and don't talk all the way home because mummy's got a headache.
Yes.
You'll get a chocolate
frog.
Oh, wow.
That's right. If you try this new meal that I've made you, if you even try it and have 5 mouthfuls, you can have dessert. So it's more so helping kids open their minds and
get rewarded
if they do the job. For the good rewards. And gosh, my partner Troy, he does bribe his kids a lot, and I have been sitting back going, I'm not sure if you should bribe them so much because they're just getting treats all the time. But now, looking at that, I'm going, actually maybe they're 8 and 11. Yeah, 8 and 11.
This is the time to bribe.
I'm going to do it.
Yes. Not with treats though, because we're parents who educate about our healthy foods.
Yeah, definitely. You see,
you can have what is it? You can have a yogi bowl or something.
Well, one of the interesting things for me that came out in that that little link that you sent me was, which I do. You've been naughty, so or you have made the wrong choices. So I'm going to take your phone away from you. So it's actually I'm actually doing things to take things away from them, other than the reward of making good choices. And I really like that turnaround, which I'm thinking about now.
It's a question that gets thrown around a lot when we have conversations with our friends is, should we be allowed or should we be going through our partner's telephones, vice versa? Do you agree or not agree? Or
Gosh, look, I think it's a trust issue, and no, I don't. I actually don't. I don't think you should go through your partner's phones.
Well,
why would you? But why would you? Does that mean you don't trust them? Does that mean that you're trying to uncover something? It's about trust for me. It's about trust.
But what have they got to hide? Or vice versa. I always leave my phone. I wouldn't care if the husband.
Oh no, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if he needed to do something or send something or whatever. But I think if you're going to make the choice or decision to let's go through all his emails and see who he's talking to and who he's looking at and what he's looking up. Yeah. Well, that's something that you need. That's an issue you need to
trust issues.
Look inside yourself and fix.
What about you, Nikki? Do you snoop through your partner's phone? See where he is, what he's up to?
Come on, tell the truth.
I have done that, and it leads towards a breakdown of a relationship because once the question is in your mind, I think it's okay if the question's there because it clarifies. And I'm the same, and I would only do that knowing, well, look, I've got nothing to hide, so look at mine. And sometimes you find nothing, but I have, had things that then have gone, oh, really?
But you must have done that because you had a niggling suspicion.
Right,
okay. So if you'd had a really big niggling suspicion and you went, oh.
Otherwise I just wouldn't be bothered. I'd
you
sooner
ask
go
him
and
first,
watch.
though?
No way.
Well, I think you ask the person first and then you have. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
What if he says no and then you go, right, while he's on the toilet, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Well, because I've seen lipstick, whatever those signs are. I don't know. I think it's a trust thing.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible though.
Now, Rachel, you've got a little new relationship.
It's so lovely. So lovely.
And it's taken a while. You're 5 years.
It's taken 5 years to really feel as though I could open my heart safely again. I've had some beautiful boyfriends and beautiful relationships and a few great dates. But it's taken me 5 years to feel as though I'm settled in myself. My girls are a good place. My ex is married again. I don't know if that had an effect as well. I've heard with women sometimes that does give that last bit of freedom to you. Caring about them to the end. But I just, I've found a beautiful guy who I wouldn't have chosen at 23, but at 40-something, that he has all of the things that I really admire and I like and will compliment me and will teach me things. It's choosing someone, as a mature person because you want to be a partnership that will help each other grow. Yeah. Whereas when I was 23, I wanted the hot, buff, funny, charismatic guy, but you didn't see all of those other things that probably weren't healthy for you. Yep. Because you're 23, and it's whether you can grow and change. And I'm very lucky that I can have another chance, and I've found someone really special.
Shall we let your partner find out some little secrets about you and play a game of Never Have I Ever?
Ooh, okay.
Have you played that before?
No, I'm a bit
Never
scared.
Have I Ever? I have never. You get a battle.
Here we go.
And there are absolute honesty on Never Have I Ever. So, and if you've got stories that go along with it, we like to hear them, as you do.
Okay. I'm nervous about this.
Yeah, you should be.
Oh God, have you been reading about my?
I have. Never have I ever made out with a total stranger.
Oh, can you define what a total stranger is?
Yeah,
somebody you don't know.
total.
Like you just meet in a bar?
Yeah.
So have you spoken to him for long?
Maybe. I don't know. In the bar on a Friday night. I don't know, down the park.
And what's making out?
I would say I have kissed someone. I would have kissed someone,
All
but
of the
that's
above.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's sort of nice sometimes, just to you know.
So good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like that total like whim and go
Yeah.
for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wind in your hair.
Wind in your hair.
Never have I ever re-gifted a gift that was given to me.
Oh, yes, I have. Definitely.
I don't know.
If you're given something that you've already got.
Yes, I probably have.
I have got a whole re-gifting cupboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. not in a way that it wouldn't be a genuine thing. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't get something for your 40th out of the
Out of my
regifting
cupboard. Geez, that's nice to know, Nikki.
But if you've got 20 dream catchers,
Yes.
people think you're a dream catcher first. You just go, how many dreams can I catch?
Never have I ever gone skinny dipping with somebody in a hotel pool.
No.
Oh, my wedding night. The whole wedding party.
Oh,
Actually, and Waddy Goes Beach and down in the beach
Oh,
as well. Tony
great.
Collette and everybody.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah, with
Just
that,
stripped and nude and
Stripped,
run.
nude and ran.
with that buff, charismatic man that you were attracted to when
That's
you were
right.
23.
That's right, you see?
I'm coming to your next wedding.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Never have I ever stolen something with a higher value of $10.
Stolen.
Stolen?
No, never have.
No, I'm pretty honest like that.
You've said you have.
Oh,
over there.
shivers.
Never have I ever kissed someone of the same sex.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Yes, girls are beautiful to kiss. They're soft.
Yes.
Live under a rock.
I'm
In
an
the
actor.
bar.
We've got to do everything.
Yeah. In those strangers in the bar.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh
you
dear.
never see
Live a
again.
little. Your husband would love it.
Really?
Oh, yes. Boys love
video
that sort of stuff.
But never have I ever pranked called somebody.
Prank called. Have I prank called them?
No,
No.
I don't think that's
No.
a thing.
I think boys do that, don't they?
Boy, it's a boy thing.
Yeah.
Never have I ever laughed so hard that you peed.
Oh, I definitely have. I've had 2 kids.
Well, nothing much stays up there now.
No. Although, have you heard about Mona Lisa? The Mona
No.
Lisa touch. Oh my goodness, it's
Oh.
this laser.
Yes.
It's a laser that
Ooh.
you
Yes.
do either 2 or 3 times, and it's a laser with it's a bit of a tube that goes up there, and it actually refurbishes everything and makes it tight, and you don't have to go. Oh, I'm going to wee when you're opening the door. Got the key in the door. I'm going to do a wee.
Yes.
Or you're jumping on the trampoline. No, girls, Mona
Wow.
Lisa touch. Everybody,
Have you had
all the
the Mona
listeners.
Lisa touch?
Oh yeah, so great, so great. I would recommend it to anybody.
Oh my goodness.
Where do you get one of those?
Yeah,
You can get them at get them at the. You just look
Priceline.
up. No, you don't do it yourself. It's like a Fraxel laser that you go to a beauty parlour about dermatologist.
there we go.
There you go. Write that one down, Nikki.
Why
Mona
haven't they
Lisa.
suggested that to me? In there.
Never have I ever stolen money from my father's wallet.
Oh well, I can't remember back that far. I'm not much of a stealer. I don't think I
Not
have.
from my dad's, but coins from my mum's. I had a sugar addiction when I was young.
True. Oh,
Yeah.
confession.
Absolutely.
Never have I
20
ever.
cents went a long way.
Wait, back then it did.
Did
Yeah.
it? 1 cent lollies. I was explaining that to my daughter. 1
Yeah.
cent for a lolly.
Yeah.
Yep. Never have I ever woken up in a strange place without knowing how I got there.
Oh,
No, I never have. No.
no, I'm pretty good luck. Pretty
Nikki had to
safe.
think about that one. Never have I ever hit a parked car and didn't leave a note.
No, I've never done that.
She did. She apologises profusely.
Yes.
I'm really
What
sorry,
sort of
whoever
car?
that was.
It wasn't a black BMW on the Sunshine
Well, it
Coast.
wasn't a dent though. I've hit it, but it wasn't a dent. And I went, oh, I've got to get out of here right away.
Oh no. Never have I ever used someone else's toothbrush and didn't tell them.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, a boyfriend's.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You even
I
cleaned the
have.
toilet with it too, did you?
Oh,
No, oh, I wouldn't do that. He was a nice boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, never have I ever received a booty call.
Oh.
What is a booty call again?
Then when they
Well,
ring
you
up
just
for
ring
sex.
them and they say,
Come
come
over.
over?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Netflix and
Oh,
chill.
I've received a call. I don't
Yeah.
think I've gone through with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not that I remember.
Well, I have, yes.
Well, she's
I'm
newly
single at the moment,
and
so
she
I'm
gets
trying
them
to
all the
filter
time.
that. I'm trying to work that out. What
no,
are you
just
calling for, really?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you texting for?
If you're on Tinder, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's not on Tinder, but yeah,
I'm not
they
on
do
Tinder,
ring.
exactly. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, ladies, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Oh,
Cheers.
thanks for having us.
Fabulous weekend. Here we
Yeah,
come.
Thank you.
Cheers.
What fun.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
See you again.